Well. I'd like to know, are you really ready for Rockwell? I'd like to know, are you really ready for some super dynamite soul? And thank you, because now it's start time.
Salam alaikum. It's Saturday, everybody. Welcome once again to the Rockwell Radio Show. This is your host. This is your brother. This is your comrade, DJ Rockwell. This is number one DJ, and you're watching the Rockwell Radio Show. This is the home where the music meets the mission. And we need everybody to start out like we start out every Saturday by taking this finger and doing those 3 steps. Step number 1, you got to go ahead and hit that like and share. Step number 2, tag somebody because it's about to get deep. And last but not least, don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube. If you're watching on Facebook, no matter where you're watching us, turn it up because we're about to turn it out. This is your brother DJ Rockwell, and what a subject we got today. Big Day ever had to slow it down. I'm getting a little too hype. Hold on, my phone ringing. Oh, that's Tutu. I tell her, I call her back. It's going to be a day. It's going to be an interesting conversation. I want to spend this few moments inviting, matter of fact, everybody come on in the room. Come on in the room, come on in the building. Because this conversation is for you, and you too. And I gotta tell you, I was just a little bit hesitant to have this dialogue. Some may call it divisive. Some may call it an obstruction. Some people may call this a difficult conversation, but not for me. And it shouldn't be for you. We want to take everybody back. And what I mean by that is I want you all to sit back, inhale, exhale, breathe. Because tonight is special because we get to talk about one of the most important subjects that we can discuss at all. And that is the unification of the black man and woman via marriage. I said the other day that a wise person once told me there's 2 important choices that you'll be faced with making during your lifetime. Choice number 1 is which God will you serve? Well, there's only one God. Well, some people make cigarette cigars, some people make sex cigars, some people make this cigar. Which God will be God to you? And the second point is, who do you share your bed with? Tonight we're going to talk about, there you go, Wusa is correct. We're going to talk about number 2. Now, before we bring on our guest, I wanted to clarify a few things. I wrote down some thoughts that I wanted to share. So as I'm getting through these, I want you all to share the show. Big Dave, let's tell them one more time what the 3 steps are of the Rockwell Radio Show. We got to tell you all to make sure that you go ahead, whether you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, like and share, tag somebody who needs to hear this, and above all, subscribe, because tonight is going to be quite deep. Listen to this. The Rockwell Radio Show is not, Will Rogers, what's good, soldier? The Rockwell Radio Show is not a relationship show. But funny enough, the relationship conversation keeps finding me. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has been teaching for over 65 years and has given us the answer to every question we could ask. Go to YouTube, go to NOI.org, pick up the books of him and his student ministers to answer your questions. None of my guests tonight have told me that they are relationship experts. We are here to talk about a subject where the people who are qualified and experienced to answer the question. I want to get into what this is. The Rockwell Radio Show tonight, the intent is very simple. Let me tell you why we're here. The intent, ladies and gentlemen, the intent is to reunite the M.G.T back in love with the F.O.I. We want to fall in love with y'all all over again, and we hope that y'all want to fall in love with us all over again. Some of us have had marriages that have been rocky. Some of us have had marriages that have been a little difficult. In some cases, we've had marriages that have failed altogether. And some of us said, I ain't going back. Nope. So the idea here is to address a subject that will put us back in unison. We have got to stop throwing each other away. I'm gonna say it again. We have got to stop throwing each other away. We may have had a bad relationship. We may have crashed the car. If you have a car accident, you don't stop driving cars, do you? No, don't throw the believer away, ladies and gentlemen. We have the job of building a nation. Here's what this show isn't about. What the show is not about, brothers and sisters, is beating up on people who chose outside of the house. We are not here to judge, belittle any of the above, what you chose or who you chose, because you have to sleep with them, not us. We are inclusive in that way. Whatever your choices were, we cannot throw each other away. That's right, Sister Katina. We don't want to belittle anyone. And last but not least, we want to talk about something that's very, very important. If we as members of the NOI have an assignment, and we do, and your helpmeet has no desire to help you meet that assignment, what does that look like? Is that who you really want as your helpmeet? Ladies and gentlemen, the question on the table is, can we build a nation if we marry outside the nation? I don't know. But what I'm here to do right now is tell you that I'm a little bit biased. I am a fan of the M.G.T, and after you watch this, I think you'll be a fan too. Dave, show him. Dave.
I would like to have 10,000 fearless women. You know, I wish I could show you the women in the nation. They're right here. These are warriors. These are scholars. But they know how to cook. They know how to sew. They know how to rear their children. And they know how to, Look at them, brothers and sisters.
Those are our sisters, the mighty M.G.T, GCC, and Vanguard. And this applause is for y'all, the mighty M.G.T. Sister Brenda, some wake up. Let's get to it. Y'all are saying, yo, I thought this was a hip-hop show. What? Y'all supposed to talk about hip-hop. This is hip-hop. Our guest tonight, which I'm about to introduce right now, our brother has been on this show any number of times. He is an MC. He is a warrior for the truth. He is an author. He is the creator of The Path, a revolutionary means of getting the word to the people and inspiring the F.O.I around the globe to do the same. You have seen him on backstage rhyming with DMX and Jay-Z. And later on in the program, we're going to talk to our family out in Phoenix, Brother Tremikius Muhammad and his beautiful wife, Sister Ariane Nicole. But first, for the first half, please welcome to the Rockwell Radio Show back once again, my brother and yours, my brother Hashim Hakeem. There he is, ladies and gentlemen. My brother, are you ready to jump in the water here?
Inshallah. Yes, sir. With the help of Allah.
Let's jump right to it. Now, the truth is, as much as I would love to take credit for the subjects being discussed tonight, I can't. The idea was actually yours. Why this subject, Brother Hashim? Why now?
First, I'd like to say, boy, you are getting better and better with the DJ Rockwell Radio Show. It's getting better and better. And I'd like to thank you and your production team and your staff for this opportunity to just not bless us with good music, good vibes, and promote all the beautiful things about the Nation of Islam. You really are a nation's man. And that's a beautiful thing. So we want to give you an applause, give your flowers right now.
we hit the button for that. Allahu Akbar. Yes, sir. Come on, black man. Honor to serve this great nation.
Praise be to Allah. And the same with me. I'm honored to serve this great nation. So before I get started, I'd like to thank the Assistant Supreme Captain, who is a verbal jiu-jitsu as well as he is physically, for the opportunity to just speak, man, and just let me grow and to work with him and to learn from him and to allow me to be who I can be without judging me, without throwing me away, because I made a million mistakes, man, but he keep pouring into me. And on his behalf, I'd like to send the greetings of Assalamu alaikum from the Assistant Supreme Captain.
Wa alaikum salam. Please return the greetings to our dear, dear Assistant Supreme Captain.
I can't wait to do it. And Assalamu alaikum, peace and blessings to your listening audience and to you and the DJ Rockwell Radio staff. The reason I brought this to you is because thank Allah for the path. I am on the path. I'm not the path. The Assistant Supreme Captain said you and the brothers that you are training and working with are on the path. And that is the Sirat al-Mustaqim.
Yes, sir.
And in the discussions we have, I find that there are brothers that are going through what the Assistant Supreme Captain told me to focus on. We're not just training good salesmen. We want to train overall good Muslims.
Come on.
And in order to be a good Muslim, you have to be a family man. And so there are brothers going through, oh my goodness. I hear some stories that some of the experiences that I've been through, and I'm like, no. Don't do that, make that mistake. And it reminds me of what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said. He said there will be some of us who Allah will take through trials. And once we overcome those trials, we will be able to share with those who may be going through what we just came out of, what not to do, what to do. We just came from hell. Don't go that way. I just did that. I just came out of that. Right. So I believe I'm one of those brothers that keep going through trial after trial.
You ain't alone, brother. You ain't alone.
And trial. And, they say we get these severe ones every year.
Yes,
Man,
sir.
it seems like it's nonstop. But after every difficulty comes ease. And I just want to share to brothers and sisters what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has shared, not only with the nation, but to believing believers all across the world. So I just wanted to talk to us, because if it's going on in your city, it's probably going on in the nation. And if some of us have been through some hell and says, I do not want to marry another MGT. But that's just like saying, I ain't have a good relationship with black women.
Listen.
So I don't want no more black women. Or I ain't have a good relationship with MGT. So now I'm gonna go get me something. We cursed the whole MGT because of a couple bad experiences. Or we cursed the whole black race because of some bad experiences. And I'm here to talk about what Brother Nuri said. Not just marry an MGT or an F.O.I. Marry an MGT or an F.O.I. That's your flavor. Don't give up.
I like that.
Don't give up.
Let's take a moment to clear up the language and explain what we mean when we say, because everybody who's watching this program today aren't necessarily registered members of the Nation of Islam.
Yes.
What we're doing here is opening up the doors, opening up our culture so the world can see what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is raising in us and for us. Having said that, in the title, we use the language build a nation. And just so no one is confused about that language, obviously you and I don't work for construction companies. So before we get to the spouse part of this conversation, what does it mean, Brother Hashim, to build a nation, and explain to people who are listening, what is the mission?
So, first of all, we are taught by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan that we are ushering in a new world. This world is going out and it's on fire. It's on flames. As you can see, with all of the racism going on in various places, the school shootings, the mass shooting, these things are going to increase. Of course, you remember the mosque shooting in New Zealand. Yes. These things are going to increase. And so while this world is going out, God is ushering in a new world, a new civilization of freedom, a new civilization of peace, a new civilization of justice and equality. And this world is being ushered in by the members of the Nation of Islam. So we have a sole purpose. And our mission is dedicated to the resurrection of the black man and woman in America and the world. And we cannot, as the Bible say, pour new wine into an old bushel bag, because it'll pour out.
Yes, sir.
We can't waste these teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad by trying to have one foot in the old world that God has come to destroy, one foot in the new world that God is ushering in. So this new world, this new way of life is the way of life and our way that is in the Nation of Islam. So me coming from the church, being raised in the church, I wanted to know, coming into the Nation of Islam, I like how the Muslims carry themselves. I like how the sisters carry themselves. All I wanted to know, joining the Nation of Islam, is, do the Muslims believe in Jesus? Because I liked everything else.
Right. Mm-hmm.
When I found out they do, and they said he's present, he's living, I joined the nation.
Right.
And I haven't seen a better example of someone who walks the example, walks in the footsteps of Christ. I haven't seen a better example of than the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. So with that said,
that's a fact, absolute fact. Come on now. Yes, sir. Go ahead, my brother.
So what I'm saying, this new world, I done been through all these religions. I studied Buddhism. I've studied Christianity. I've studied not just Christianity, but different denominations, Pentecostal, Baptist, Church of God in Christ. I studied all of these, but I still haven't seen a better example as someone who follows Christ better than the Muslims and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. So, ushering in a new world, you need a new way of life, a new way. And you can't say, with all the crime going on in the city, you can't say that in your city, you don't have the most churches and the most crime. You can't say, black people can't say, I'm talking about outside of the Nation of Islam. You can't say that we don't have the highest divorce rate out of any other nationality. So I wanted to learn something different. I wanted to find something different. And I don't want to go from this earth to my grave not knowing that I did not explore every leaf, every rock to find God. I just can't say I believe a certain way because my mama believed. I need to know for myself. I found Christ in the Nation of Islam, and I found an example that would decrease the divorce rate if we would but submit to it. And that is the brothers in the Nation of Islam, and that is the sisters in the Nation of Islam. And they have titles. Muslim girl in training. That's just a woman who submits her will to do the will of God, who is constantly training. F.O.I, fruit of Islam, where we say the best part of the family tree of black people, we claim is the members of the Nation of Islam. They say the best part of a tree is the fruit. But we're saying of the human race of blacks, we're saying the example that has been set before you, if you would but take a look at us, give us a chance, you will see that the best example of those who follow Christ may not be in your church, may not be in your certain mosque, but they're in the Nation of Islam.
You are tuned in right now to the Rockwell Radio Show. Oh my God, what a night it's going to be. My guest right now is Brother Hakeem Muhammad. And later on, after the break, we're going to get the feminine perspective of this conversation and hear from our family out on the West Coast. Sister Ariane Nicole and her husband, Brother Tamikas Muhammad. It's going to be a great conversation. Don't go away. And matter of fact, we want everybody to go ahead, take a brief moment. Once again, hit that like and share button right about now. Tag somebody who needs to hear this conversation and subscribe. My brother, let's go a little deeper in the conversation here. Yes. I want to be very careful, Brother Hashim, not to set up an us versus them dynamic in these conversations. Nice. And I don't want to set up a we think we're better atmosphere in this dialogue. So I want to be very careful here and with the people who are non-registered. Yes. We both know, dear brother, women who are beautiful, intelligent, educated, and high income earners, Brother Hashim. There are good sisters out there who want to get married, Brother Hashim, but they're not in the MGT class. So why would a F.O.I, and I'm just going to I hate the term devil's advocate, but you know what I'm saying.
Angel advocate. Let's do angel advocate.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. That's a good save. Angel's advocate. Why would a F.O.I pass up on a sister with those qualities if she's not in the mosque?
That's a great start. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan teaches us the greater the value of that which you are trying to obtain, the greater the difficulty factor.
Come on.
So the M.G.T, the training that they go through, as you saw the commercial that you showed earlier, the training that they go through, these are sisters that just not have adopted a doctrine. These are sisters who practice and apply the doctrine and try to live the highest quality of moral standards that God can encompass in a male or female. These are sisters, if I would use the analogy, it is the top of the line. It's a Bugatti. It's a top of the line vehicle it's a Rolls Royce. And you can't use the owner's manual from a Ford Taurus for a Rolls Royce.
Teach.
So these sisters right here are constantly training on how to eat, how to keep their bodies in shape, how to keep their mind in shape, how to rear children. These sisters are taught how to take care of their husbands.
Listen.
These sisters are taught how to rear their children, how to take care of their husband. These sisters, a sister can come right from the street. She could have changed her life from prostitution. She comes into this class, now she's taught how to cook, how to take care of her husband, how to rear children, how to act at home, and when she out in the public. So these sisters are taught not to show themselves. No, you got to cover up that beauty.
Yes, sir.
Save that for God. And when God says you're ready, then he's going to bless you with a well-made man.
Teach.
So I'm just talking about a person that's constantly training. A person that's constantly training to become all she could be. how. She is taught who God is. She is taught who the devil is. She is taught how to heal you without the use of medication. She is taught how to cook to wean you off of medication. She is your first doctor. She is the first nurse to the child. This sister, we taught that when you teach a man, you teach an individual. But when you teach a woman, you teach a nation. And these sisters understand their value. They understand where we're going. We're not complacent with the life of this world. In fact, we dislike the life of this world. And we're going to another direction. We're going another way. And that is, you want to get safely to the other side? You want to see what bliss looks like? You want to see what gardens look like? You want to see what the garden of God looks like? But that's the sisters in the Nation of Islam. There is nothing like them. No, they weren't always like that. They have committed themselves to the highest moral standards that this world can present. And that's from the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Say that, man. Come on now. I can't wait to bring our sister on for the next half of that show to elaborate on this, and her husband to elaborate on that. What a topic. You're tuned into the Rockwell Radio Show, and we're asking a very deep and powerful question here today. Is how can we build a nation if the woman we choose or the man that we choose is not a part of the nation? Big Shane, yesterday on my FB page, I told a fictitious story about a young brother who decided to just join the nation, young man, become an F.O.I. But before he joined the nation, Hashim, he was in a relationship like most of us were. And he decided to give his life to God. But she wasn't ready to do the same. Her name was Tuisha, but for short, her name was Tutu. But most of us, and I know many brothers who have had a tutu situation in their life, and they didn't quite know how to handle it. They decided, you know what, I want to give my life to God. I want to stand up. I want to be righteous now. So I can't do what we used to do no more. What do you recommend to brothers who had a tutu in their life?
I had, I'm ashamed to say, I had many tutus.
Come on, brother.
I'm ashamed to say.
Keep it above.
But I would say this. I was talking to the Assistant Supreme Captain about this topic. Mm-hmm. And he said, am I my brother's keeper? Meaning, when you're dealing with these topics, we want for our brothers what we want for ourselves.
Come on.
And if we're not going to be the example that the most honorable Elijah Muhammad set before us as it relates to men, women, and children, because we talk, when we on our deen, women attracted to us.
Listen.
Men want to be with us. Children want us to be their fathers. When we on our deen, we are the envy of men. And we see this out there with our Final Call newspapers. We go to the brother. He say, no, thank you. But the sister reach over from the passenger seat and give $2. And he look at her like,
I ain't tell you to do that.
Like, you going to throw me under the bus? I told the man, no, you going to get, and she may argue, these brothers are trying to, and now he feeling some kind of way. And I say, brother, don't worry about it. Just this for you, black man. This for you. I got to build him up. And I teach the brothers, when we out there with the Final Call newspaper and you see a couple together, don't go to the woman. Go to the man. Give him some respect.
Good training. So, good training.
If we do not have this example before us, if we don't have the discipline that is taught in the Nation of Islam, we're going to end up messing with Tutu, Sister Tutu. Because a sister that knows her value knows how to get a man off of her. A sister that knows her value is not going to let you just play through her garden with no commitment.
Teach.
A sister that knows her value is not going to take her headpiece off and show her body for attention. She's not going to dress according to the standards of this world. And so we are taught, this is common sense, easy come, easy go. But this sister going to make you work for it. This sister going to make you earn it. You have to deserve to be with your sisters. And when you don't want to work, you don't want to qualify. You qualify for jobs. We qualify for sports. We qualify for positions. Why not qualify for a righteous woman of God?
Come on, brother. We are at the half just now. I got one more question to ask before we go to break. Big Shame, let's go ahead and tell the ugly truth. Many of us, Brother Hashim, many of us have tried our luck with marriages to a believer and struck out 1 time, 2 times, or more. Many of us. And they start to think, and you kind of addressed this a moment ago, but maybe you can approach it from a different manner. And we start to think, Brother Hashim, maybe I'll have better luck outside the house. I'll have better luck with anybody but us, the MGT, the F.O.I. A lot of us have got to that point. What would you tell a brother who is considering finding a woman who was not in that class or was not committed to that work because of a bad experience he had?
I'm going to tell the brother what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan advised me and a group of F.O.I at Muhammad University in Chicago, 2007. And I did not follow his instructions, and I suffered the consequences. I saw him at an intense pitch in his voice say, "Brother, your wife is an MGT," talking to the body of men in the nation. And I was messing with a tutu. And when I say messing with a tutu, I wasn't saying fornicating. I was saying I'm going to fish this sister in the mosque. I met her in the classroom in college. She was a cheerleader. I was just Brother Hashim in the Nation of Islam doing what I do. And I already know with the teachings that we have, I am dignified.
Come on.
I am exalted. My breasts, meaning my wisdom, has been expanded that an average person will think I am a guru, just a little bit of teachings that I know.
Come on.
So I impressed her. And I said, I'm going to go to your church if you go to the mosque. We've all done this. And I did that. The church loved me. They were surprised at how well we know the scripture. She came to the mosque and she started saying Assalamu alaikum around her family, and her mother was an evangelist. She stopped eating pork, and the next thing you know, I'm in the pastor's den reading the Quran with him and interpreting the Bible. And I'm spending more and more time at the church, less time at the mosque. Spending more and more time with her family, less time doing my obligation and my affairs in the mosque. Less meetings I would make in the mosque, more there. And I eventually married the sister before she even got her ex. Before she didn't even process or register, because she felt like she had me. And if I had the discipline then to hold fast, I would not have gotten to the trouble that I got into. I ended up getting framed by her family for something I did not do. I did 7 months in the county jail. And the reason it was 7 months is because I had a public defender. And the white lawyer who was the public defender told me, "I am intrigued by your discipline, by your posture, your mannerisms."
Come on.
And I had to study your beliefs. And I know you're a member of the Nation of Islam. White lady, she said, "I'm a Quaker. Do you know what a Quaker is?" I said, "All I think about is oatmeal." She said, yes, those are Quakers. But our beliefs are similar as it relates to charity, as it relates to discipline, your mannerism. I'm listening to this white lady. And she said, "You are the ideal client for any lawyer. You don't complain. You are firm. You are innocent." She said, "I know you're innocent." She did not like my ex-wife at the time, but that's not the problem. The problem was the minister said, "Your wife is an MGT," and I ignored him and got married to a lost found and suffered the consequences. That's another reason I know the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is the Christ walking amongst us.
Say that.
Whatever he says as a prophecy comes to pass. before it even happens, he says something is going to happen, and by God's permission, it happens. My point is, brother, we're ushering in a new world. You cannot pour new wine into an old bushel bag, which means you can't use old knowledge for the new world.
Oh, we're going to get into it, brother.
So that's where we at, and I would just close with that. The reason why, brother, I do not care. I heard Brother Rafiq say out of St. Louis, married to Sister Shaniqua, they're in Dallas now. He said, brother, I wouldn't care if I had 10 divorces. I wouldn't care if I had 10 divorces. I bet you that 11 one's still going to be an MGT.
Ooh,
I said, go ahead.
That's my man right there. That is my man. We are up against the break. We're a few minutes over time for a break. This is DJ Rockwell. Next to me is my brother Hashim Hakeem. And coming back on the other side of this break is my family from the West Coast out of Phoenix, Arizona. Brother Tremikas and his wife, Sister Ariane Nicole. This is the Rockwell Radio Show. Tag somebody. Let's go.
This is your brother Willie Muhammad, and I'm asking each and every one of you all to tune into the DJ Rockwell Show, live online. Peace.
Peace. This is your sister Aisha, the mental resurrectionist, hailing out of Baltimore, Maryland. Listen, whenever I'm online, I always tune into the Rockwell Radio Show. It's that hype. It's that dopeness. And you should tune in too. Peace to my brothers David and DJ Rockwell for holding it down, locking it down, giving us those sounds. Love y'all. Peace.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm Sister Latasha Muhammad, and when I'm online, I rock with the Rockwell Radio Show.
Assalamu alaikum. This is Brother Vaughn Muhammad of the Rockwell Radio Show. For years, I've been hearing the same thing from a lot of people. Brother Vaughn and DJ Rockwell are completely two different people. So I came up with a way to separate the both of us, and perhaps we can get along better if we try it this way. Introducing DJ Rockwell. What we're going to try to do is do this together and not get on one another's nerves. Every Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, check out your brother Vaughn Muhammad and this guy, DJ Rockwell. We'll go to question number 3 and direct this one at Brother Jamil. Question number 3. On LL Cool J's hit song, I Can't Live Without My Radio, he says he kicks his volume way past this number.
30.
30 would be incorrect. Brother Patrick, what is the answer? How loud did Brother L kick his radio?
Can you repeat the question?
Dave, can you put the question back on the screen, sir? On LL Cool J's hit song, I Can't Live Without My Radio, he says he kicks his volume way past this number.
Well, I grew up where we didn't have a radio.
worldwide, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Download the Final Call Radio app and take us everywhere. On your phone, on your computer, on your tablet, on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You can also log on to finalcall.com and click the Listen Live button or finalcallradio.com. Final Call Radio, the official voice of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam.
We're back, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen. We are back in the building. This is DJ Rockwell, the nation's #1 DJ, and you're watching the Rockwell Radio Show. Sister Tisha said she hates that clip. She should have said 10. If you missed the inaugural issue of the game, the trivia game, we will be doing it again very soon. Please DM me, get in contact with us here at the Rockwell Radio Show if you want to be a contestant. But let's get to the matter at hand. Let's get back to why we're here today. We're asking a very serious question. We're talking about marriage. We're talking about the Nation of Islam. We're talking about F.O.I and M.G.T. And we want us to fall back in love with one another again. We can do it. We can do it. And what we can also do, for those who want to support programming like the Rockwell Radio Show, crawling at the bottom of your screen is the Cash App, and we can always use your support to keep this kind of programming going further and further. Are you all ready to bring to the mic our second half guest? I'm ready. All the way from Phoenix, Arizona. This brother and sister are active members of the arts and culture community, entrepreneurs, soldiers, artistic, and they have, wait till you see sister's new shoes she pushing. Oh my God. But with no further delay, please welcome my brother, my sister, Brother Tremikas and Sister Ariane Nicole Muhammad. Walaikum salam. Welcome to the Rockwell Radio Show, y'all. This is a topic and a half. This is a big one. This is a big one. And I want to start like this. Well, let me first ask, brother, am I pronouncing your name accurately?
Yes, sir. You sure are, brother. Praise
Allah. Okay. Now, my sister has been on this show any number of times. And again, welcome back. But my brother's my first time to have the chance to look my brother and say, thank you, brother. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me tell you why I'm thanking you. You didn't know this, but something you said 6 months ago is the exact reason why I called you both. Something you said online set the tone that was so perfect that I had to get you both on this show. Let me tell you what I mean. Dave, show him the clip. You said this on January 13th. You said, I want to thank Allah for my wife, Ariane Nicole, who nurtured me back from death's door with COVID for over 30 days, especially on our worst days when my oxygen levels fell to 88% or lower, 88 being a danger level. I thank Allah for her and her patience, endurance, persistence, and care. Allah used her to put me on the road to recovery. She has been an excellent example of the training of the MGT GCC class of the Nation of Islam and the love of God through her for her husband. She never once gave up, and her nursing care, along with God's guiding her on what to do, I believe, kept the RIP from being placed besides my name. I am thankful to Allah for her.
Yes, sir.
When I read that, I was like, who cutting onions in here? Stop it. Stop it.
I feel like that right now, brother. Praise be to Allah.
And I thought that was a great addition to this conversation about what the MGT are bringing to the table for our lives as men. So, and although that particular post really answered it all, I would like to ask you, dear brother, to expand on that. And sister, I want you to chime in as well. I want you to expand on that. What was going on at that moment? And what did sister's training as an MGT do to help you to get you to where you are right now?
You know, brother, it's interesting that you brought that piece up, because I was literally thinking about that when you were doing the introduction to the show. I was thinking about those moments. And what stands out in my mind, I remember, you know, I didn't want my wife to come in the room with me because I was so sick.
Yes, sir.
And one night in particular, I woke up and I looked on the floor, and she was laying on the floor at the foot of the bed, sleep. That did something to me, because I knew why she was there. And she was there because she was on her post.
Come on.
Wanting to, and we later talked about this, wanting to be on the alert for any danger that she could hear or any danger that she could see. She didn't want distance between us. So I'm thankful to Allah for that spirit, because I know that spirit was nurtured in her through her MGT class, in her training as a soldier on her post, her husband being her post. So I'm thankful to them, to how to eat to live.
Yes, sir.
And her being able to go down in the kitchen and take the herbs and the medicine that she was advised, you know, because I didn't want to go to the hospital.
Right.
And my wife knew that I didn't want to go to the hospital. So she understood she had to go into the kitchen. She had to go into the herbs. She had to go into the medicine, the cabinet, and find cures for me in the medicine of the cabinet that would restore my breathing and that would bring me back to health. All that she did is as a result of what she has been taught since a little girl in actuality at the MGT. So, you know, brother, just to touch on that briefly, it was just honestly all the training coming into effect. When she didn't give up, you know, I had people telling me I should go to the hospital. I should go to the hospital because I, you know, and if she would have, Brother DJ Rockwell, I looked at my wife one night and looked at what she was going through trying to keep me up. If she would have decided at that moment to send me to the hospital, I would not have faulted her or been upset at her because of all that she was going through and keeping me and nurturing me back to health. But she did. And she had in her mind, of course, the teaching of the Honorable Muhammad. I can't speak, she can speak to that. But I believe she had in her mind the teaching of the Honorable Muhammad. I believe she had in her mind the words of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan in terms of us keeping our faith and trusting and believing in Allah. And also knowing from our own teachings the dangers that I faced from at that time, the many warnings we had gotten in the Nation of Islam about the medical facilities and what they were doing, the articles that were printed in the final call. It's just so much that was going on, brother. It's hard to put it in words in a short form. But it was just her spirit, her energy, her training, her teaching, and all of her skill sets coming together to help nurse me back into health. So I'm thankful to Allah. And the last thing I'll say, the forces that she rallied around me. You know, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught him and taught his wife in particular that the duty of the wife a part of her duty was to make friends for her husband.
Listen.
And the forces that she rallied around me, the people that she called both Muslim and non-Muslim,
Right.
that she rallied to keep me going, even in terms of running the Phoenix LOC. She took charge of that, brother. Her and another sister. You couldn't even call me, but they took care of the business of our organization while I was there. So she didn't just nurse me using medicine and food. She also made sure in my mind that I wasn't stressed and worried about the continuation of the work that we were doing while I was there. She took charge of her post in the realest sense of the word. She's the vanguard. She's the M.G.T. She's my wife, and I'm blessed.
Come on now. Come on. You're listening to the Rockwell Radio Show. My guest now for the second half, and Brother Hashim, don't go away. Don't go away if you're still here, Brother Hashim, because we're going to bring him back on camera in a little while. Wow. Sister Ariane, if you will, can you just briefly, please, speak to that time, and how did your training as an MGT, GCC get you and your husband through that difficult time?
Well, first, thank you for having us on the show, brother. Wow, that's very deep. The first thing I did was call my captain, because that's the way, we were trained. I called my sister captain, and I said, my husband's temperature is, what it was. And I'm running around, the stores to, stockpile on different things. And she advised me, to get the oxygen, I forget what it's, oximeter, I think that's what it's called. And told me, because she is a nurse, our sister captain, but she is in the medical field. And she told me, as far as the oxygen, his levels couldn't go a certain, number, and to monitor that closely. So that was a tool that I can put in my tool bag. And, a lot of times when we go through our trials, I've never seen my husband to be one who, would, we always go through trials doing this work.
Right.
Period. And so, but I wasn't quite prepared, right, for the level that we would get pushed to. And so it gradually progressed. So I was following the protocols and things. But then I had to call our naturopathic doctor. And it just so happens she's in the nation as well.
Come on now.
And she is our beloved sister who helped our brother Jabril Muhammad. I'm speaking of Dr. Fatina. Saved many lives. So I was able to call her, order, medicines that would help him, on the cellular level, help his body to fight. And we were fighting it was a war. My husband lost a tremendous amount of weight. It was unbelievable. But I know that there was something carrying me. And of course it was love. You don't know what you would do in a circumstance like that.
Listen.
Until you're tried. And I feel like I poured everything in me to keep my husband alive. I had no room for doubt, because if you doubt, you can't do that in that kind of circumstance.
Right.
The energy is very important. One day, I went into, when I was bringing him his things, like we have fruit, raw milk, and because his appetite, like I said, he lost weight, but I was bringing him what he needed, and the energy in the room was so frightening, brother. It was like, the hairs on the back of your neck would stand. It was like electrical. It was piercing. It was the fear of death in that room.
Wow.
I took a deep breath. I closed the door behind me, and I said, Sister Arian, it's go time. Like, it is go time. Because my husband has always been a faithful man. And I'm not saying his faith was weak. I'm just saying that we were dealing with something that was very serious.
Listen.
And I said, well, in a moment where you can't lean on that strength of your husband, you have to lean directly on the power of Allah.
Come on. Wow.
And I went for it, and he's here today. Praise be
Right.
to Allah. So,
Family, when I saw that post, and that was now 6 months ago, that stayed on my mind from that time to this time. Because it reminded me of the value of our sisters. And I wanted to spend some time on that to lay a foundation to get further into what we're talking about and why we're talking about it. Now, obviously, time is on us, and I know I only promised I would keep you all an hour, and we got about maybe 6 minutes to that, so I'm going to try to speed it up just a little bit. As a couple who are both very busy in this mission, you both are out there working, you're busy, you committed to this work of resurrecting our people. Let me ask you this question. What is the benefit of having someone else that's also committed to this work and mission? I'll go with brother.
Okay. Brother, I wouldn't be able to do it if she wasn't committed. I left the house. I'll give you an example. I left the house this morning, maybe about 9:30 this morning, to go and deal with a class that we have for new members in the LOC. I still haven't been home. I'm sitting here in our new office, headquarters, taking this broadcast from here. I still haven't been home. But my wife knows where I am. She's not worried. She understands what I'm doing, and she supports the work. She understands the work, not because, and this is something key that brothers have to really think about. She understands the work because we have the same teacher.
Listen,
we were talking this morning about I don't know what we were talking about, but we needed to lift the spirit up, and I put on the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, Fear, Faith, and Truth, and we both listened to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and he lifted up both of our spirit for the remainder of the day. You know, how can you do this type of work that we do on the level that it needs to be done and the sacrifices that you need to make if you don't have a believer as a companion by your side that even believe that the effort that you're putting in is worth it when they don't see the immediate benefits of it.
Come on, man.
So that's a different level of faith that you're witnessing when both of you are in the mission together. That's critical. For me, it has been critical. I can't speak for anyone else, but for me, it's been critical, whether it's selling the Final Call newspaper or meeting all day with brothers and sisters in the community that need to get things done. My wife is by my side. And there's been many issues that I've dealt with. This woman has not only been my nurse and my doctor and my wife, but she's been my chauffeur when I couldn't see.
Come on.
She drove me to every appointment. She has been an advisor. She's been a counsel. She just left me a message a few hours ago of encouragement to keep going along the work, keep going along the mission, keep the vision alive. See, all that's necessary. We're not wealthy people, brother. She ain't saying to me, look, we need to get a diamond ring and, I need this and I need this. This woman has been with me for 20 years in the work, brother, and she ain't cussed me out. She ain't called me no names. She called me no names, and she has been patient. And I'll stop by there. I asked her one day, so why you didn't, and I'm paraphrasing her words, she can answer better. I said, why haven't you made this demand or that demand on me? She said, I never wanted to interfere with the work that you were doing. Brother, so he is my blessing.
Are you all listening, people? Are you all listening? My God. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead, brother. Finish that thought.
No, I'm going to stop right there because she, for
the sake of time, I'm going to skip to the next question, but sister, I'm going to direct it at you. We all know, Sister Ariane, that no marriage is perfect, and that compromises are often made on both sides of the coin. Let's say that a believer confides in you, Sister Ariane, that they found somebody that checks all the boxes that they've been looking for in a relationship, but there's one that's not checked. They're not a F.O.I. What do you tell this person? Because we all deserve to be happy. We all deserve wholeness. We all deserve to be with someone that loves us. What would you advise a sister if they say, you know what, he got all the boxes checked except that one?
Well, personally, me, coming under the voice of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan since I was 8 years old, I have a different perspective. I know that you could be, you know, a man of faith and a good man. You don't have to necessarily be a registered F.O.I, but I would say that it's dangerous as a woman if you are under the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and your husband is not. You would have to figure out why. That would be, you know, a cause of, you know, is this what you know, what you want to do? Because this is where I am, because you could potentially take me away. That's just the reality. Because in a marriage, the man is the authoritative figure.
Listen.
And if his head is not aligned, right, with the mind, when you say the kingdom, right? If his head is not, you know, on that wave, or, you know, he don't have the same mission and assignment, then you have to decide where you want to go. Because you're going to go with him, you know, wherever. So you have to make that decision, because that's really the most important decision as a woman of God.
Listen,
you're in the MGT class. We're there to help our men in the mission of resurrection. So at some point, you know, you would have to say, okay, am I still in the process of resurrection? So it's still a lot of questions.
Wow.
Am I still in this? You know?
Major.
Yes.
Wow.
Can I?
Go ahead, brother.
I just want to add two things. One thing for me, brother, and I talked to my wife about this the other day. I never wanted to be in a marriage with someone who did not believe that Allah appeared in the presence of Master Prophet Muhammad. That was critical to me, right? And a very, very important point. The other thing is, this goes back to having the same teacher. Brother, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan was talking about Fantasia. And I'm paraphrasing his word, but he was talking to her husband, and he was telling her husband that she needed an angel in her life.
I remember that.
And at another point, I don't know if it was the same conversation, the minister talked about how great women often suffer and die miserably because men don't know how to handle women of greatness. This is critical, because as a husband who has a wife who is great, you know, I told my wife, I don't introduce her as Sister Erin Nicole, my wife. She's an artist with immense talent of her own. She's her own institution. But if I didn't have the guidance of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, would I be able to check my ego so that her talent can flourish and it can shine, or would I get in her way? What has to be understood is that we're not saying that in the Nation of Islam we're better because we have our struggle. What we're saying is our guidance, the guidance that we have received and the wisdom that we have received and we have accepted helps us in the marriage so that each person can grow to their full potential. Because the purpose in the marriage, one of the purposes in marriage, in my understanding, is to help each other to grow into our full potential. Not just the brother to grow into his full potential, but the wife as well. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad paid and sent Mother Tyletta around the world. He wasn't trying to keep her at home because we had children. He sent her around the world to learn. And we witnessed her go around the world and not only learn, but teach what she learned. That was because she had a wise husband. And you can't make wise men if wise men don't have a wise teacher. So I think that that's very important when you talk about marrying into the faith.
Wow, let me get out of hand. Wow. You are watching the Rockwell Radio Show. And my guests right now are Brother Tremikas Muhammad and Sister Ariane Nicole of Phoenix, Arizona. And we're talking about, if you're just tuning in, as a matter of fact, Dave, we're almost out here. Let's tell them again the 3 rules of watching the Rockwell Radio Show. You have got to go ahead and hit that button, like and share, tag somebody. And last but not least, y'all, go ahead and subscribe on the YouTube channel. Let me take a pause before we close. Matter of fact, Dave, go ahead and bring Brother Hashim back up. Bring Brother Hashim back up. There he is. We're about to wrap up.
Right there. Them two right there. They cold.
We in good company, brother.
Wow.
I want to just pause and thank the chat room. Thank you, chat room, for being here. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for interacting. Sister Pamela, love y'all. Everybody. Brother Jamil, Sister Teaser, Brother Calhoun, Brother Michael A., Sister watching from London. Salam alaikum, Sister Ashe out there. Love y'all, man. Thank you. Watching all around the country. We appreciate you. Now, what we're going to do now is play a clip directly from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, who answers this question succinctly, directly, and he didn't leave no gray area to be guessed. I want to thank Brother Ben Kessie. I hope my brother Ben Kessie is watching right now, because I lifted this clip from his page. And if you ever go to his page and you're trying to debate the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, you better have your receipts, because he always got his. So let's run that clip from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, Dave.
Is there a rule or law that states that an MGT, a Muslim girl in training, may court a brother who is not in the F.O.I? Well, sister, you court whom you please. But if you're going to court a man who has not accepted the righteous principles that you have accepted, then you're making a serious mistake. Because when you court a man who has not accepted righteous principles, when you marry him, he, by the nature of himself and you and marriage, is in authority. So do you want somebody to help to lead you and husband you who has not accepted righteous principles? If you have accepted them, then if that's what you want, you're not such a good woman. Well, what am I to do? I ain't got no man. It's better to be by yourself till the right one comes along.
Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has spoken and answered the question. And I'd like to just do a round and get you all to respond to that in 60 seconds or less. I want to start with Brother Hashim. I go to Brother Tremikas, and I want my sister Ariane Nicole to have the final word of the night.
Well, she said that. You know, she studied. She said what he said. He ultimately becomes the authority. And that's why so many good girls go bad. It remind me of the Malcolm X movie. That sister that, good Lord. Remember the sister that loved Malcolm, but because she wouldn't give it up, she ended up going to the streets. So many good girls go bad. And I told my son, Golden Child, hey man, we can't play with these sisters, man, because they look up to us as F.O.I. And when we fail them, they gonna go back into the vomit, the mud, the streets. But we got to be a great example, man, for these sisters. So I was just thinking about Sister Ariane and Brother Tremikas. What they went through. You got a sister in the world who believe in modern medicine. but the MGT taught how to heal you in the kitchen. They scientists. You got a sister that don't read the ingredients in food, talking about pray over it. And you got an MGT talking about, no, this right here will kill you. Don't eat this. This right here will aid you. You got a sister talking about, it's all right to drink and smoke in moderation in the world. Then you got an MGT saying, listen, this is how your liver goes out. This is how your kidneys go out. We want to reverse the aging process. So you got a sister that is not of the life of this world, that's in the world. And then you got a sister that's born, raised, like Sister Ariane said, since 8 years old, bred to take care of her husband. Now, I don't remember that in the church, how to take care of a husband. I don't remember that in the Bible nowhere. How to take care of your husband, that's a whole class within itself. That's in the Nation of Islam. Thank you.
Brother Tremekis, is on you. You mute. Unmute yourself.
The Holy Quran says, thank you, brother. The Holy Quran says, marry the righteous among you. So, you know, if our aim is for righteousness, then we should marry a righteous mate. And now let's get specific, Nation of Islam, because we have our way of Islam.
Our way.
Under the revelation of the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. This is not what you find in the East. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said he's teaching a new Islam.
Listen.
So then we have a specific way of Islam. And that means, as we have been taught, the F.O.I for the M.G.T.
Come on
the
now.
M.G.T for the F.O.I. Don't delude yourself. We have a specific way that is not the way of this world. And if we want to stay in that way, we need a righteous companion so that when the world is pulling on us, they can pull us back.
And the final word of the night is from our sister, Ariane Nicole.
Well, I tell you, there's no man for me except for the F.O.I, my husband, because he helps me to fulfill my purpose, and he helps me to fulfill my role as that, you know, who is a co-creator with God. And me understanding that and him having, you know, a mission, you know. I will tell you this, like I said, Brother Hashim, and you said this before, when I was listening to the minister since I was 8, it taught me, or, you know, that taught me that, you know, the man has to be doing something. He has to be going somewhere, right? And so everyone I encountered before my husband, I couldn't do it, right? I couldn't do it because I had a certain standard, you know. And my husband, he may not remember this.
That's standard.
We were sitting in a car in the back of a restaurant. We were, you know, it was during our courting process. And when he talked about the mission and helping the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, that sealed the deal for me. That is what, you know, sealed the deal.
Go ahead,
Come on.
It's nation time. It's nation time. So all of our people, we are in the nation, but when we join the nation, we are joining in the process of reformation of a nation.
Listen.
And so I'm all in. Like, this is my life. And so when, you know, we're not joining the club, it's not a part-time organization. This is a mission. Our sole purpose is the resurrection. And I find that in our marriage, I found myself being transformed. I could say that I can bear witness that the resurrection process is real because my heart has been renewed. The love of my people has grown because we're in this together, you know, and we want to help essablish this nation. So that's my feeling. Thank you.
Brother Hakeem, for Brother Tremekis Muhammad and Sister Ariane Nicole. On behalf of the Rockwell Radio Show team, we thank you. We honor you. You have fed us. You have edified us. You have strengthened us. The Nation of Islam is not a cult. There's nobody lording over us saying who you should marry. But for those, and the reason why we did this tonight is just for those of you who are considering, for those of you who are on the fence, For those of you who have had bad situations in car accidents, don't give up.
Don't give up.
F.O.I.
Don't give up
on the mighty F.O.I.
And we got to know how to protect her too now.
Absolutely. Thanks for that reminder. Dave, go to that GM slide real quick. Tell us about it, brother Hashim.
Now listen, y'all remember that movie Crash?
Yes, sir.
The police was fondling brother Terrence Howard's
that
wife.
That was a horrible scene.
And he was so scared he didn't know what to do, so they just fondled his wife. Listen, I be asking myself, man, this sister right here, your wife, the black woman, is the most disrespected woman on the planet, but the most valuable natural resource created by Allah to us.
Listen.
The most valuable, the most emulated, the most copied, the most want to be like is the black woman.
Listen.
But can we protect her? Can we fight for her? I'm talking about physically fight. Will you be the brother that your woman just gets mobbed and you talking about, I don't know what to do. You let your woman fight, but you won't fight. Will you let your woman get hit or slapped? And when some of us done seen from domestic violence situations, but will you protect your woman? I heard the Honorable Elijah Muhammad say, we'll go out and check the corn in our crops. We'll turn over the ear to make sure no insects is bothering our crops, but we won't go out and protect our women. Some of us take care of our cars better than we take care of our women.
Listen.
Some of us take care of our shoes better than we take care of our women. Now, y'all see this racism all over the planet Earth. Mass shootings, school shootings. What you gonna do, man? Are we gonna be able to fight? Are we for show or are we for go? Is that just a bow tie? Are we for show or are we for go? You gotta learn how to gouge somebody's eyes out. I ain't playing. You gotta learn how to put somebody out. And at this training, you're gonna learn how to defend yourself. Not go beat up people, but defend yourself. What is a nation with no military defense?
Listen.
Come on.
What is a government? Farmland that you can't even protect. Somebody can come just take your farmland. Somebody can come take your woman. No, not in the Nation of Islam. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan says we are not the lay down group. That means we're going to stand up and fight. And at the National Training Seminar, this is open to the public. You don't know how to fight? You are welcome to come to this event to learn how to defend your wife, defend your family, defend your property. That's what the National Training Seminar is. It's not just for Muslims. It is open to the community. And this is July 28th. Look at that. Scan that QR code. Scan that and get information. It's in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. That's at the Wisconsin Center, July 28th. Learn how to fight.
Come on. Come on. Family, we thank you all. We're a few minutes over time, but we thank you. We hope for you who have listened today that we've made an impact, or that we've had that we caused some sort of reaction in your heart, that you don't give up on your fellow believer, that you don't give up on those beautiful MGT, that you don't give up on those beautiful F.O.I. We love y'all. This is DJ Rockwell, and we'll see y'all right back here next week on the Rockwell Radio Show. We out.
Rockwell, I'd like to know, are you really ready for some super dynamite soul?